Irashaimase! Hello and welcome to Fitaurus Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus. It's time once again for Shoot 'em Up Saturday, and on the menu this Saturday we have Missile Command Recharged, the 40th anniversary celebration of Missile Command. What kind of taste will it have? Let's get cooking and find out. Celebrating 40 years since the summer release of Missile Command in 1980, we have Missile Command Recharged from developer Nickervision and the original developer and publisher of Missile Command, Atari. So this is a title that is just a little bit stale in my mind. It's a decent enough release for the price point, but for something that's celebrating one of the more storied titles in shoot 'em up history, I feel they could have done a lot more with what they had, or rather than what they did. So, starting the game, we've got relatively basic Missile Command gameplay to start off with. We have 3 missile silos that we use to fire these missiles at these incoming shots from an enemy force trying to destroy us. So we're not actually looking to destroy these shots directly. Rather, we're trying to shoot generally in front of an enemy projectile and hope that the shots encounter the explosion radius of our shots. So we're defending 6 bunkers that are placed in between our 3 missile silos. If all those bunkers are defeated, we're destroyed. If a missile silo happens to be defeated, then if we can survive long enough, the missile silo will regenerate. It is possible to control a little bit how we're firing our shots. There's 2 ways we can fire, at least on the Nintendo Switch version. If we press the B button, we'll fire from whichever silo happens to be ready and or closest to the enemy shots, that, or rather, actually not the enemy shots, but where our cursor is positioned. But there we have the X, the Y, and the A button that if we use those buttons, they'll correspond to one of the 3 individual silos firing shots from that specific silo. So you can kind of strategize better that way, or you can just press the automatic button if you don't want to play to that great of an extent. So once we lose a round, once all 3 of our bunkers or cities, however you want to define them, are destroyed, we're taken to this end game screen. Here we see our score, as well as our high score. There's a leaderboard where you can compete against others. Just a quick look where we're at. A little under 200, that's not a bad place to be. But there's also, and after this round I'll show it off, a neat little upgrade feature that was added. In addition to the upgrade features that I'll show here after this round is complete, we also have some power-ups. So from the left or the right side of the screen, we'll have these power-ups that come across, and those power-ups are different letters. And once we activate the power-up, we see a screen that falls down that kind of gives us an idea of the time we have remaining in our power-up. So F, for example, gives us fast. R gives us rapid. There's a B that gives us a bomb. This M here would give us mega. So our shots are super large now. Pretty awesome. And it's just a neat little way to add a bit of difference to the Missile Command gameplay. But once again, like I was mentioning in the intro, I don't feel like it did really enough to iterate on this title. It just rather gave us a fairly bare bones Missile Command experience. So I'll let all our cities end up being defeated here, so I can show you one of the features that is really neat. So once we've died, from this screen we can access the upgrades menu, and here the points we earn in a round are translated into currency that we can then use to upgrade the power, the radius of our shots, the reload speed of the silos, the speed of our shots, and the rebuild speed of our silos should they be destroyed. It's a really neat feature that does add an incentive for constant play. But at the end of the day, Missile Command is just a great arcade title that is really enjoyable to sit down and just play a few rounds of. One odd problem I do always have, since this is a Nintendo Switch title and the confirmation button is A, I'll always be firing from the right most missile silo for the first couple shots before I remember, oh yeah, that's right, I need to press other buttons. So, minus flavors though, the big one I have is I just feel like for a 40th anniversary edition especially, they could have done more with Missile Command. It's got a really bare bones structure to it where we just have the gameplay itself, which is alright considering it's got a low price point. But if it wasn't for that, I'm not really sure that this would be a title that I could give much of a recommendation to. I can recommend this, but largely just because it comes at such a bargain price. On the plus side though, I do really like the ability to upgrade ourselves through constant play, using the points we earn to buy upgrades, making ourselves better there. And I do also like the neon aesthetic that the game has. It kind of has a very nice retro kind of Geometry Wars-esque feel to it, and that's something that I do really enjoy. So, recommended at a price point, but a little bit disappointed as I feel they could have done more to celebrate such a storied shoot-'em-up title. Well, that'll just about wrap it up for this week's episode of Shoot 'em Up Saturday. As always, I want to thank you so much for coming out to join me this week, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.